Alright, here we are then for an in-depth hot lap around Monza in the Formula Renault 2.0 on iRacing for the upcoming week. Monza obviously is going to be low downforce, run 24 wings maximum, or try run below that. That's a tip I'm going to give at the start, although that's probably a given for this track. It's a bumpy track and it's quite a difficult track over the curbs, not least the second chicane, so you've got to really persevere with that chicane to also consistently nail that, because it is really tough. Anyway, hopefully this lap will help with gearing and the lines and everything in general I do in the braking zones, etc, etc, so hopefully that's useful. And as always, subscribe to the channel if it is and leave a like on the video. But coming up to the lap, the setup is going to be in the Apex Racing UK forum. There wasn't a setup stream yesterday because I was quite busy, so check the forum and the setup I'm using will be on there. Anyways, coming up to turn 1, you're going to brake just before the 100 metre mark, about 110 metres before the corner, shifting from 7th to 2nd, cutting quite a lot of the first curb because it does enable you to do that. After you've taken the first part of the chicane, keep it in 2nd gear, and then for the second part, keep it in the middle of the track, using a bit of throttle to get a nice little bit of turn in. Make sure you get on throttle as early as possible, but make sure the rear is stable. As you can see, I'm soaring at the wheel a little bit because I get a little bit loose on exit. Make sure you're planted and you're basically in a straight line before accelerating if you're not so confident with the rear. Turn 2 really is a pain because you're trying to get on the throttle as early as possible, but it is really easy to become loose there. Coming up to the second chicane, you're going to be braking just about the 100 metre mark, shifting from 7th down into 3rd gear. Now when you're shifting from 7th to 3rd, make sure you do it all in a straight line and don't shift to a late gear shift to 3rd because the rear does become loose. Take all the curb on the inside, which opens up the second part of the chicane and enables you to get on the throttle as early as possible before you reach Lesmo 1. Lesmo 1, as you come up to that, you're going to be in 5th gear, shifted down to 4th, braking about around 40 to 50 metres before the corner, get a nice bit of brake in and then shift down to 4th to get that nice bit of turn, and use a little bit of brake just before the mid-corner so you're enabled to get on the throttle as soon as possible to throttle out the corner heading towards Lesmo 2, where you're going to brake at the 50 metre mark, just a little bit down into 4th gear, and then get nice and wide on the curb, because again you don't actually get penalised for going that wide, you don't get any off tracks, so you can use all the curb you want here basically without getting off tracks. It's an interesting one, that's for sure. Coming up to the Scari, you're going to brake just before the 100 metre mark once again, shifting from 7th down to 4th. Get as close as you can to the sleeping policeman on the inside of the curb because that really does nicely drag you around, especially for the right-hander. Coming through the right-hander, I actually touched the sleeping policeman just very gently, which is actually very lucky because usually you do get side pod damage from touching them, which isn't exactly a good thing you want because you lose a lot of straight line speed. But basically around the Scari, what you want to do, you really want to let the curbs drag you around without touching the sleeping policeman, because as I mentioned, you get side pod damage and therefore lose a lot of straight line speed, which at Monza really does kill you. Up to the Parabolica then, you're going to be braking at the end of the AstroTurf on the left, look out for that on the left, shifting from 7th down into 4th, using the brake to get a nice front end bite so you're enabled to get on the throttle as soon as possible, running that wide near the green stuff on the exit and dragging the car to the right for the run to the line, where you're just going to be powering up through the gears, hopefully for a good grip position as per usual. Anyways, hope this lap is helpful. If it is, then leave a like on the video and also subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. But any tips, again, just leave them in the comments, and coming up is going to be the full-blown quick lap, where you can just watch the quick lap with the throttle input. So anyways, don't know what my next video will be, whatever it is, I'll see you guys next time, so goodbye.